All right, in this video, we'll go through the different item options and settings for a pre-existing account. Within this item, we've built out the whole kitchen sink. We'll go through all the sections and subsections that are available within the new item editor. So we'll dive right in. We'll first select this top item here and click into it. First of all, we've kind of gone through the physical product, digital and physical product and gift certificate and what those mean. But just to recap real quickly, the physical product will display the shipping options. The digital product will display just like digital download options. Digital and physical product, which is what we're displaying here, will have both the shipping and the digital download options, and then gift certificate will just show those specific things that relate to that type of item. And then over here is item actions. Item actions are just the typical duplicate, inactive, make the item inactive or active, or delete the item. Okay, so product information, as you can see, we filled out some of the sample product information. We'll dive into some of the subsections for this and just kind of go past this general information. It's fairly self-explanatory. The advanced pricing and accounting, diving in there real fast. So if I click here, you'll see the advanced pricing and accounting. This is where you've got your sales information and you can add different sales dates. So you could set up a sale from one date to another and then add another one, and it'll activate and deactivate according to this calendar you have set up. You've got your discounts over here for quantity, and then you have your pricing tier information over here as well. You have advanced pricing information such as MSRP, the MAP, and the cost of goods sold, and excluding from coupons. Arbitrary unit cost information. You can set it to act as a new item if you're using a template that highlights new items in some way. You can set a date range for that, and then the QuickBook codes. Going back real fast. You've got all your auto order information here. Auto order information. What we're doing right here is we're displaying everything all at once. So if you have nothing set, you of course will see nothing. If you set up the customer selectable, you'll get this kind of schedule the customer can select from. And then you also have the more complex automatic purchase of item results and automatic enrollment. And that's where it has a lot of the same options that the current one does now. We've just kind of cleaned it up and we're using a little bit more real world sentence structure in the way it describes what's going to happen. You can add pauses. And then you've got this drag and drop that lets you reorder these steps as well. You've got this grandfather pricing, and then you've got your sample table of what that's going to look like, your options, and then your different items down here. So all of this auto order stuff will basically let you do that, and we've layered that in with the within the main product information right there because it has to do with the pricing. It really is like if you've set that up, then the pricing will be affected with those auto orders. And then affiliate commissions, this only shows up if you have affiliate commissions set up on your account. Diving into that real fast, you can see the kind of table that you would see with the affiliate commissions right now. Images, that's again fairly self-explanatory. We have improved the location of the images. Basically, you have a featured image here, and then as you add images to the product, they will just cascade down. The sales channels, so this has all of these different sales channels. On a new item, you would just see the storefront that you have set up, but then as you add Amazon and you add eBay and legacy, or if you have a legacy catalog and EDI, those will show up as well. So let's dive in real fast into a storefront and its options. So the storefront, this will show you the pages that you have the item assigned to. If there are template specific images, we'll highlight those here. For instance, like if the template that the page lives on is calling in a banner, that's where you're going to see that. And you'll get that labeled right up top. It'll say something like banner image. This example that we've got here specifically asks for the front of a shirt and back of a shirt. If the template supports videos, you see these here. It's just the video URLs, the attributes. Again, this may be a single attribute or maybe a whole list of attributes. It depends on the template and how the item's being used within the theme. access, for example, excluding from search engines and exclude from top sellers, that information, that will live across all storefronts. So if you take this single item and you have it on multiple storefronts, this access and search engine optimization, that will be controlled in a single place and then cascade through every storefront you have. That's not typical. Normally you'll have one item and it will be on a single storefront. If that's not the case, that's just, we've got these little highlights letting you know that this applies to all storefronts the item's assigned to. All right, jumping back real fast. Again, if you've got this stuff configured, it will show up. It has a lot of the same options you currently have. We're not removing any functionality. It's just now organized within these sales channels. You can see that like in the EDI information here. All right, moving on a little bit here. So now I'm going to get into the shipping. So the shipping information on this front page, if you've checked this track inventory box, you'll get this table. This table will show all of your different distribution centers. You've got quantity and stock, which you can set right here. And then it will show you also this table of information of the number of quantity that's in orders that are being processed, number that are in the cart, and then the remaining available. You can get in and make some more in-depth edits by just diving in and clicking edit here. This again should give you a little bit better flexibility and help you find what you're looking for a little bit quicker with your specific distribution center. If you only have one set up, that's the only one that's going to show up right here. And if you aren't controlling the inventory through this and you uncheck that, none of this information will show up. You control the weight, you can put in the barcode, and then your additional dimensions here. So diving in real quickly into, you could see we've got some additional general settings for the shipping information. And then you've got case relationships. You have customs information. And the customs information, we've kind of streamlined and consolidated this in the way you use it. Again, you can do the same things as you could before. It's just we've organized it and worked to streamline that process to where it's a little bit less overwhelming once you dive into it and start making edits to these specific things. These are restrictions. So restrictions, you can think about any type of restrictions that have to do with shipping, whether it's where it's shipped or when it's shipped or the method it's shipped. Any restriction you can think of is within that restrictions tab. And within this subsection. And then packaging. So if you've got some custom packaging set up, your packaging requirements, whatever you have set up within your account will show up here. All right, jumping over here to integrations. Any integrations you have enabled on the account, the Google Product Search, Wishlist Member, A Member, Platform Purple, anything that you set up that has to do with an item specifically will show up within this area here. If you don't have any integration set up, it just will not show up. So it doesn't clutter the interface if you don't have any of these things enabled. So for instance, Google Product Search, it's fairly robust. So that lives over here and it's in its own window, and you can set up, again, everything that you currently can now within the system. And I'll dive into one additional one. It'll give you whatever the specific requirements are for that item will be provided and presented here within that subsection. All right, jumping over to the downloads section. So downloads, this section again will only show up if you have the item set to digital download up here, or you have digital and physical products set up. So we're going to assume we have it set up as both. And then the assigned files will just give you a quick snapshot of the files that are assigned. And then below that, you see how the activation codes work. There may be none. The digital download just may happen after they purchase it, or it's assigned from a list. The description on the receipts here, and then the list of codes, one per line. Again, very similar to how it works now. And then the low warning threshold as well. And then retrieve real-time just is a URL that we're using currently in the system. It will work the exact same way. If I dive in here to manage files, this is where you can upload files here, you can delete them, you can edit them, and then just checking them here in the sidebar will add them to the list that we've got. So I'm going to go back. All right, jumping over here to tags. This is a new system within the UltraCart system. So item tags, customer tags, and order tags. These are going to be extremely powerful. They will be used in a multitude of ways, but a quick example is item tags. So if you within your storefront are only calling items that are tagged with shirt, then this item will show up. Or if you have tags that are shirt and clothing, then this will show up. Customer tags and order tags will work after the order is placed. So if a customer adds this item to the cart and checks out, the customer could be tagged with that specific tag, and then the order itself. So when you're reviewing your orders and looking through your statistics, you can filter them by these specific tags. Again, this is new to the system, and we'll continue to improve this and build on it. So this is coming, and this will add a lot of flexibility both on the front end and the back end to your UltraCart store. You've got your related items here, your related items field set. You've got, as you add them and as you type, it will autocomplete, and then you can just remove them. You also control its relation to other items, and then control its restrictions here. So this is where you'll find all of the item relation information. The reviews area is just what it says. If you don't have reviews enabled, then this box is unchecked and all of this information goes away. If you do, both this button and this button will take you to the same place. It'll take you to a list of the reviews. And within your review list, you can edit a review, you can delete a review, you can approve a review, you can unapprove a review, and then you can actually write new reviews as well. So when you're in the system here, you can edit any of this information or write and add reviews that you maybe get from somebody outside of the store, or if somebody purchases a product, you know, in person and wants to leave a review, you can add it here as well. The review templates work very similar to the way they do now. If you have multiple review templates set up on your system, they'll show up here. And then you can do all that. You can actually add a review right here as well, straight from this system. So on this landing page, you can get to and add a review. You can set all of its status. You can, all of your different criteria you have set up will show up here, and then all of the review information below there. All right, let's keep going. The checkout options, those are the typical checkout options within the system. Again, works like it does now. Notifications. The notifications control how the notifications go out to the customer after they make the purchase. And then any third-party marketing notifications as well will show up here. So if you have MailChimp or something like that configured for the third-party marketing, this is where that information will show up. All right. Item identification. This is basically a reiteration of some of the input fields you see on some of the other sub-tabs, but we put it out here to make it quickly accessible. If you've got the manufacturer's name, SKU, barcode, some of that stuff, that's going here in the item identification field set. Jumping over to item options. So one thing you'll notice is we separated the item options and variations. Both of these are very powerful and complex, so we've given them their own areas. The item options, you'll notice right off the bat here, you can drag these around. So when you're reviewing the item on the front end, this is how these will show up. You can edit them here or delete them. You can add a new item option here. And so this, again, we're kind of showing everything all at once. Similar to how we were showing some of those other screens, like auto order, we are showing everything from the dropdown. So the option type, if you did a single line input, for instance, you'd just get these cost fields here. If you did drop down list of values, you actually get this down here that has the label, additional cost, additional weight. And then you get these like the box of the default option. You'd actually not have both of these checked at the same time. But you can rearrange these and how that would be how they show up in the drop-down menu. And then the radio buttons, I actually have the same options here, but they have the addition of an image if you have an image for that item option. And then as you get into it and then you want to edit it, that then gives you the more complex options. Some of those things, like if there's additional dimensions, how that is applied, Additional items will appear in the packing slip as kit components. You can add them here, additional weight, and then digital download items as well. So that's the item options. Again, I want to reiterate that that is the exact same functionality that exists in the system now. We've just organized it in a little bit different way and pulled it out of the items or the options and variations tab. So jumping into variations. This is one of the biggest changes on the item tab itself. So the variations are divided into two different sections here. We have the variations themselves, which we're like in the sample item, we have color, size, and material. And then we have the variant items. So the variant items are then assigned to each one of the matrix of different options here. So if you set all of this up and you generate missing variant items, it will auto create a whole list of items based on all of these options here. So this would create a pretty massive list. If you look down here, what we're giving an example of here is maybe you've added 3 before and you're adding 3 more different variant items. And so these ones that you've added previously, just because of how the system currently creates these relations and creates those sub-variant items, we're not allowing you to edit the item ID after the fact. You can actually get into the item and then edit that item ID, but from this table here, it just doesn't make sense for you to be able to go back and forth and on the fly edit those item IDs. So what we've done is, as you're adding new variant items, you'll get the chance to edit that item ID. And then if it's a new item in the system, if the system does not recognize the item ID that you've input, you'll get this new tag next to it. If it does exist in the system, if you've already created this variant out there in your made item list and you type it in here and the system recognizes the item, that's how it will show up as this last item right here. And it will give you these quick options to be able to edit the title and then edit the price if the price is a variation of what that main price is, and then you can edit the matrix of different options here. So you'll see color matches with this variant name here. So all of these are going to be red color. The size, so these top 3 are all small, and then the material. So the material is here, and you'll see these are all red and small, but one is cotton, one's khaki, and one's silk. And then we jump into and then continue that variant here. If you try and create the same matrix, the system will just warn you and say you need to adjust the way you're doing this variant for whatever 2 items currently conflict. So that is the variations. If you click on edit item, you'll get a screen very much like this. One differentiating factor between UltraCart and a lot of our competitors is that the variant items are not limited in any way. The variant items are just like normal items. They have the exact same options, all of the different things you can manipulate with them. With the parent items, you can do the same thing with the variant item. The advantage of doing it this way is if you generate this, it will inherit most of the properties, being the item title, the price, the description, the weight, the shipping information. The variant child items will inherit that information from the parent item. And then you can go in and make changes if the variant weighs more or the variant costs a little bit more or something like that. So that is the variations as well. So that is a very quick overview of the item page, the brand new item page. And if you have any questions, just let us know.